the secretary of the office manager that makes the appointments, and lots of times one of the biggest considerations for patients is parking. Instead of who's the radiologist, how skilled is that radiologist, because even good radiologists miss, they're human. I was fascinated with magnetic resonance imaging because I would go into the grocery stores and Time magazine would have it on the cover. And I would hear people talk about, well, actually not just people, but in the press, this was during the Clinton healthcare reform, they were trying to say, like, should we reform or not? And the gist was we didn't want to be like Canada. And why? Because Canada doesn't have as many MRI machines as we do. I was like, what is this technology? How often does the media tell this story about the technology, that it's going to save us from cancer and it's why we don't want to be Canada? And how did the doctors who use it make sense of it? And so for me, it started with the research. It started with trying to get access to these MRI units in private centers and hospitals, and that was quite an adventure in itself. And the writing came later. MRI is a wonderful technology, and it really has an important place in medicine. And it helps doctors and clinicians diagnose disease that they would have normally had to do surgery. So it is a wonderful technology. That said, we use it in the United States more than any other country in the world except for Japan. And even doctors, referring doctors, are saying that they often order the MRI because they just don't have the time to spend with patients. So you have doctors speaking out about our over-reliance and wishing that they were rewarded more for their time with patients so that they could think and put all the pieces together. There's many factors that contribute to our over-reliance on MRI. One is our cultural ideas about what counts as truth. And so high-tech, producing anatomical pictures, that's one reason. Another reason is a fear of malpractice. In court cases, they decide what is good medicine. And one of the things that is held up again and again is MRI exams. Part of the reason we love, and all of us love, including health insurance companies, MRI, is because it creates pictures. And as a culture, we're really, if we see something, especially a picture of the body, we think it's real and it's true and it's equivalent to the body. And we have a deep reverence for these pictures. And also it's made by an incredibly wonderful high-tech machine. So you got two things that we love in the United States as a collective, a high-tech machine and pictures, anatomical pictures. When I did my research, it was 1999 to 2006. So that's one of the interesting things for me as a sociologist, like, how do you study a moving target? And so I took a picture, so to speak, of MRI from those years. And in those years, it was what I call a sacred icon. The media loved it. They just, a news article was really not a news article. It was more like an advertisement for why you should go to this hospital or this imaging center, because now they have the biggest, best MRI machine. Now it's starting to change, and the TV shows were the same way. Now it's starting to change. Like in-house, MRI is no longer a sacred, reverent object. It is actually a routine object that is sometimes wrong and is often wrong. Manufacturers keep raising the stakes. So if we used to use a 1.0 Tesla magnet, now you want a 3.0. And then they're like, and we can sell you a 5.0. And of course, as you get a stronger magnet, the price goes up. Now MRI is moving into the veterinary practice. And so I've had friends come to me and they say, Kelly, they want me to get an MRI of my dog. Is that really gonna, what do you think? And I say, well, why don't you ask your vet, or why don't you ask your doctor, if it's a human, what that information is gonna add. And in the case of the vet, it was interesting. My friend reported back, and this is just anecdotal, there's many more examples, that, it would just confirm what he already knew, and it wasn't gonna change the outcome because there was no treatment for this particular disease. It's not all smoke and mirrors. It's really got a lot of rigorous, backing to it. But at the same time, if the technologist is cutting corners or if they don't know what they're doing, they could miss the section of your body that might have the problem.